When you're trying to find accurate information with what's going on in politics, where do you turn? I think we can probably both agree that the media is very biased. The accuracy of what they put out is not their primary objective. The objectivity of what they put out is not their primary objective. The truth of what they put out is not their primary objective. Polls. You can just think back to 2016. Also, not super accurate. So, where do you turn? You got to take some self-responsibility. That's what I'm doing in this video, where I go through and rank each one of Donald Trump's and Joe Biden's individual websites to see who's actually winning. Because if I were to rely on the media, I'm only going to get one very biased side of what's happening in reality. If I look at polls, I'm going to get a very, very inaccurate. Well, I should switch that around. I'm only going to get one side of reality that's happening. If I look at polls, I'm going to get a very biased side if I listen to the media, right? So what about people who actually take the time to go to one of these candidates' websites? Because why do you go to a website? For one of two reasons. First, to get information. Second, to purchase something. In this case, getting information on each of the candidates and or donations. So I'm going to go over this ranking in this video. And with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, two things. Why aren't you subscribed? And it's good to freaking see you. Let's get into the video. So this is the polls that I was referencing. These are the national polls that come out, and we've got coverage on this in our other series on our Google and YouTube rankings, our Instagram rankings, our Twitter rankings. So you get to see the actual picture of what's happening in reality, not on some poll that has 1,000 people, or in this case there was a couple new ones that came out that had 2,500 people, and the media says that these 2,500 people represent what the entire 330 million people in America think. Right? So let's get into the data. We have four different sources where we're pulling in the data to try to get a more collaborative picture of what is actually happening with each one of these websites. So one of the things that we're going to take a look at is on Alexa.com, and we looked at two factors here. We looked at the ranking in the United States and then the ranking globally over the 90-day period to just get an idea of the trajectory of their growth. We can see that Donald Trump here is at 1,441st in the United States, where Joe Biden's at 2,565th. And that's kind of an interesting story, right? Because right there, if we look at the data over here on the right-hand side, we can see that there's about over 1,000 point or a spot lead, meaning that the popularity of Donald Trump's website, these are people who are going to his website to look for information, who are going to the website to give money. Why else are you going to go to a candidate's website? I get there's probably some people who just don't have anything better to do with their life than take the time to go like just browse around on still indoctrinating themselves with whatever they're viewing. If you have ever heard of like, you know, garbage in, garbage out in terms of your physical body, right? If you're trying to get into shape in some way, what you consume, what you shove in your mouth is going to affect how you look and how you feel. Well, the same exact thing happens with the media that you consume, that you hear, and that you read. Okay? So any garbage that you shove into your face, right, with food, has the effect detrimentally on your health. So what do you think happens when you read garbage, when you listen to garbage, when you see the garbage, right? That's why in 2009 I got rid of my TV. I don't listen to the media. I'm not even going to call them the news, because news would at least have some connotation that there's at least some type of honesty or some type of like actual ethics behind what they're doing. And I don't see that. I don't see that. I knew back in 2009 11 years ago that it was a waste of my time. So be very, very diligent about what you put into your mind, because the same exact thing happens if you're just going to go through and eat McDonald's every day. Same exact thing is going to happen if you just shove that shit into your mind with just crap. What does the media do? Their job is to divide people through sensationalizing something. They need a crisis, so that if there's not a crisis going on, they have to manufacture a crisis. Look at the Russian shit that was going on for the last 3 years. Taxpayer dollars, your and my money, completely manufactured, because they need a crisis. They need a crisis to talk about something. I'll actually touch on that in just a moment before we get into the second data point. The next thing here is the 90-day growth. So this shows you how many spots each website has grown over the 90-day period. This is a little bit cloudy because it's on a global basis, but we can see that Joe Biden had 70. He was ranked 7,500, or he improved by about 7,500 spots, and Donald Trump improved by about 10,500 spots. So the growth rate is greater for Donald Trump. The ranking inside the United States is greater for Donald Trump, but yet all the polls say that he's losing. That's weird. Before we get into the next factor here, let me show you this piece of research from, this is actually from Harvard Review. This is by Peter Vander Wicken. Why the news is not the truth. I'm just going to read you a little clip here from this. The news media and government are, and by the way, check the date out on this. 1990, whoops, up here, May to June 1995 issue. That was when it was released. And it looks like it was from 1994 is when it was actually written. And it says, the news media and government are intertwined in a vicious cycle of mutual manipulation, myth making, and self-interest. Journalists need crisis to dramatize news. Government officials need to appear to be responding. Basically, they just have to justify having a job, right? Think about how many people, for a moment, get into government, supposedly, to serve the public. And when they leave government, have millions of dollars. You think there's some self-dealing going on there? Well, we fucking know there is. I'm not saying it's left or right. It's both sides. They're human beings. That's what humans do. Let's go on to the next, because the next is almost a 25-year prediction of exactly what is happening today. Because so too often the crises are not really crisis. Whoa, that's interesting. Look at this COVID shit that's happening. But joint fabricate, oh, that's interesting. It's a joint fabricate. Look at the Russia shit. This is in 1994. This is 26 years ago. The two institutions have become so ensnarled in a symbiotic web of lies that the news media are unable to tell the public what is true, and the government is unable to govern effectively. Yeah, I think we all know that's the truth. And this is from 26 years ago. There's enough complacency that it's about time we start actually doing something about it. So now this is similar web. This is similar to Alexa, where we get the first set of data. On this one, it's not updated. The U.S. ranking is updated weekly, or updated when I get in there. But the traffic data down here, the 6.2 million here for Joe Biden, this is traffic on a monthly basis. So it's only updated once a month. So we'll see the same data from the previous week. But if you take a look here, we can see in the United States, Joe Biden's website is ranked 1,844th. Nice job, Joey. Good freaking job. But look at Donald Trump. His is ranked at 401. And this is 401. I actually put this number in here. 401. So if we look at this is kind of interesting here. Oh, wait a second. So you're saying that Donald Trump's website is 4 times more popular than Joe Biden's website? Wait. Hold on a second. Wait, Joe Biden's website is 4 times less popular than Donald Trump's website. But why are these polls saying the opposite of that when reality shows us that on multiple different aggregation sites for data, Joe Biden's website is not as popular. These are people that are highly likely to actually vote. These are people who are actually interested in getting some type of information. These are people who are giving money. But why does it say that this is one thing and this is different? Well, because this is based on biased data. This is the largest one here is from the Hill, and this is 2,829. So a little bit under 3,000 people. That is 0.00000. I think that's 5 zeros in terms of the sampling size of the population. Versus over here, we've got millions of data points. So you could just look at reality. Like, where are people actually going? What are people actually doing? Right? To understand that. The next one that we actually look at is the traffic. This is interesting too. Again, Joe Biden has 6.2 million in terms of the traffic to his website versus Donald Trump at 27 plus million visitors. What is going on here? Again, 27 million versus these polls over here. This poll has 673 people. The media tells you is reality. However, you're an intelligent human being and you can think for yourself. You can see reality is completely different. The next factor that we have here is from WooRank, similar to these other two sites. My favorite out of all these is Alexa because that one's updated every single week. The other ones are not always updated regularly. So this is from WooRank. And we do, again, the same two factors. For Donald Trump, we can see right here that his website is ranked 1,429th in the United States. Nice. But it doesn't look like it's, looks very similar to Alexa, right? But not as high as SimilarWeb because they all have different methodologies for ranking their websites. So you don't necessarily maybe want to trust one individual one, but if you look at an aggregate of multiple different ones and multiple different testing methodologies to rank the sites, then you're going to get a more accurate representation of what's happening. Let's take a look at Joey's. Joey's is 25th. Wait, so again, Joe Biden isn't as popular as Donald Trump? For people who are actually taking the time to go to their website and look at the policies, because you know what the website is. The website is just an advertisement for the fucking candidate. So these are people who are actually going to their website, actually taking the time to go to their website and read about this advertisement for the candidate. Right? It just doesn't make any sense to me because this is what the media reports on as reality. But actual reality is completely fucking different. Pay attention to what you watch, pay attention to what you listen to, pay attention to what you read. Garbage in, garbage out. The next thing here we take a look at on WooRank, which I think is kind of interesting, is the number of influencers. Influencers are going to be people who have other website domains that refer traffic back to the initial asset, meaning Donald Trump's website or Joe Biden's website. These are people who probably make a living from their sites, right? If you talk to anybody, you are an influencer. Your influence might be trivial because you only talk to 2 people and you don't express your actual true meaning of how you feel about something, but to some degree, you are an influencer. More than likely, you're being influenced tremendously by other people. But at some point, at some level, you do have influence. So these people have this, and they probably do it for a living in terms of putting information out on a website and driving traffic through advertisements, through affiliates, through other sources, coaching, all sorts of courses. They probably make money in some capacity in this way. And there's 22,000 plus websites that are sending traffic to Donald Trump. Well, I bet Joe Biden's is way higher. Wait a second. Wait, there's 8,000 sites for Joe Biden and 22,000 sites for Donald Trump. That's interesting. We've already covered the complete bias at Facebook. people in their moderation, their content moderation group, you can go back and check that one out, the Facebook rankings. On their actual when something gets flagged as a inappropriate or something that needs to the content needs to be reviewed, the people on the content review site on Facebook are actively saying, if that person has a MAGA, Make America Great hat, I'm literally going to delete their account and flag them as terrorists. On Twitter, again, these are from engineers within Twitter, multiple different people who are effectively saying, oh yeah, there's definitely a fucking bias against conservatives. We're actually baking it into the algorithm to censor what conservatives say. You can go check out the Twitter rankings for that bit of research. So we know that the media is biased. We know that social media is biased. So we're trying to get the most accurate representation of what reality is. And we can see that there's only 8,000 people who are talking about or who have websites and they're sending traffic to Joe Biden versus 22,000 for Donald Trump. But let's also look at one more factor. Let's look at the #1 site in the planet, Google. And let's look at the search volume for Donald Trump, or let's look at the search volume for Trump website versus Biden website. So being the #1 site in the planet gives you a tremendous amount of data, right? Surely more than 2,500, 673. There's millions upon millions. I don't remember what the data was, but it was like something billion of number of searches done either per hour or per minute or something on Google. If we look at just the search volume in the United States, so this is searches taking place within the United States, this is going to give us an indicator of interest, right? Attention. Attention is currency, my friends. You need attention if you want to create impact. You need attention if you want to sell something. You need attention if you want to do anything. You want your boss to let you fucking work from home permanently now that you have this like fake corona stuff, right? Then you need to do that. You got to get your boss's attention to allow you to do that. So when we look at Trump versus Biden here, again, super interesting. Look at that. It looks like the interest for Trump's website has actually dwindled significantly from the first half of this 30 days. This is over the last 30 days in the United States, has come down, but it's only a 30-day period here. And if we look at the total search volume on average over this time period, we see that Donald Trump has about 75% of all the search volume for these two terms, Biden website or Trump website. And that means that Biden has 25%. So again, we have 3x, and these are millions and millions of searches. So two things here. You're an intelligent human being. Pay attention to what you fucking put in your face. The information that you decide to consume in whatever form and medium that takes place for you, be very, very mindful about what you put into your mind. And #2, if you agree with the truth, you agree with the North Star of actually getting to the bottom of things and understanding what is going on, take a moment and share this video with somebody and spread the truth of what is actually going on, because we know it is not here. It is not the media. Remember this from Harvard back in the 90s, the mid-90s. Remember, let me zoom out a little bit. Why the news is not the truth. This was happening over 25 years ago, 26 years ago. Spread the message. You don't want to spread this video because you don't like me? Cool. It doesn't matter. Share the message either way, even if you don't want to share this video. If you guys have any thoughts, jump over to Instagram down below or Twitter down below and say what's good. I appreciate you guys. Peace.